finally goes, all right, guys.
We stream now.
All right.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna just grab that.
And now we record. And if something doesn't blow up, we should be good to go.
Ooh, no promises about the not blowing up thing.
What's the YouTube link?
Oh, I got it.
I was about to say the same thing. Oh, I am faster. Nope. Or maybe not.
What did you post?
Denny shows up and types as soon as I clicked live.
Denny was probably sitting there waiting.
He probably was. I'm gonna tweet this out right now.
Thank. It's actually kind of nice. Last time we had Josh on the podcast, I wasn't here for it for whatever reason. I was probably homeless or something. It just seems like something that happens in my life.
That's unfortunately true.
Oh, Gibbs is in chat. Gibbs, welcome. Long time no see. I hope you're well.
Ooh, oh wow, Denny's right here throwing the super chat out right away.
How much is that in Canadian? Isn't that like $1?
Something like that.
Conrad posted a tweet for his Commonwealth Realm channel, and it starts out, if Ganondorf cannot be rehydrated in Breath of the
Wild. Oh, Conrad.
Yeah, like that. It's just the official way to say he comes back to life. If he cannot rehydrate.
He cannot be rehydrated.
If he doesn't own a Squirtle, he's doomed.
Man, a glass of water.
Yeah.
Get him some water. He thirsty.
Yeah. No, the whole thing with the Gerudo slunched over the pedestal was all foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild 2 is just going to be getting him gallons of water.
Yeah, that's all you do. That's all you
Love it.
It's
you
like
get as many bottles as you can find.
The fetch quest from Majora's Mask when you're underneath the well. Except it's all just glasses of water.
Oh boy, that's such a quest. That one's such a pain.
Okay, I think we're ready to start.
I think so.
Yeah, we got about 26-ish people. All right, are you guys ready?
All right, let's roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's see. Alright, everything looks good. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Highland Gamescast. Today we have a special guest with us, returning N64Josh. Go ahead and introduce yourself for those who may not know who you are.
What is going on, guys? My goal this time is to not upset the Pokemon community that also likes your content. So that's my goal. As far as who I am, like Jesse said, N64Josh is my brand. I host the Nintendo Powercast, which you can find on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, and I do a fair amount of Animal Crossing streaming on Twitch right now, which is twitch.tv/N64Josh. So, and also have news articles on N64Josh.com. That's me.
All right, and we also may be hearing a new song.
That's
new
right.
Zelda-inspired song later on.
Yep, that's true. That is very true. It's called "It's Dangerous to Go Alone." So
It's great.
Yeah.
Josh is the man that does it all. He also has a book, guys, and it's a really good book, as someone read and listened to the audiobook. So I also very much recommend that. So he does writing, he does music, he does streams and videos. He does it all.
Man of many talents.
But does he do improv comedy?
He probably went back in time and did the Sistine Chapel himself too.
So Daniel,
Mm-hmm.
introduce
Yes.
yourself.
Oh, introduce my.
Yeah.
I'm so busy gassing Josh up. I am Daniel. You may know me as Cap Bergerson. I host this podcast with Jesse we like to say every week. Whenever we end up doing it, every week in air quotes. And you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Cap Bergerson. And I do stream twice a week, at least on Twitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Otherwise, sometimes occasionally on Friday nights, and then I do like weird random videos on YouTube that I wouldn't say I have a consistent vision for my videos, just whatever I feel like. People seem to like it, so it's good. That's me.
All right, and finally,
All
Choobs.
right. I'm 𝐓𝐿ima, and so far I've been a little bit AWOL because my capture card died, but everyone was amazing, and I'm getting a new one, so stay tuned. But I basically just stream on Twitch at 𝐓𝐿ima, but there's an extra A, so just think 𝐓𝐿ima, but you're screaming a little. And I post most regularly on Twitter if you want to interact that way. That's me. That's all I got.
Awesome. So today we're going to be starting off by going around, and each of us is going to talk about an area from Breath of the Wild that we thought had a lot more potential and that we would like to see explored in Breath of the Wild too. So that could be like a city that was in ruins, or a town that was in ruins, an area that was just abandoned or buried in the sand. Like they had Arbiter's Grounds, but it was just like the very top, presumably the very top of Arbiter's Grounds. And it was all just buried under the sand. Or it could have just been the bottom and it was just completely destroyed. Don't really know. But going along with that, Daniel, to start us off, do you have an area that you would love to see rebuilt or explored that they didn't really give us too much information on in Breath of the Wild?
It's so... There's so many very cool places in that game. To choose just one. But I think one place that there's already a lot going on there, but the Forgotten Temple in Breath of the Wild, which is right at the end of Tangar Canyon, almost like a one-to-one recreation of a similar area in Skyward Sword. But I feel like they were on the cusp of something really great, and just like if I don't know if there was some more involvement with the story there or something, would have been really cool to see. And I feel like we might see something in the sequel there, which I mentioned probably in a previous podcast. But you go there, it's like a really cool, almost like huge reference to Skyward Sword, but there's not that much going on there except for like, I want to kill you. So I don't know. It's and then there's a shrine and a big statue, but not much else going on. Would have been cool to see more, I guess.
All right, 𝐓𝐿ima. Do you have an area?
I wouldn't say like a specific area that I'm interested in, but I feel like a lot of people definitely agreed that it was like all of like the water section of the game, that there was so much water, and you knew like there was occasionally they'd put chests in the water, but that was pretty much the extent of it. That's what I'd like to see more of in the next game, is kind of more of that exploration.
Every tiny little pond.
Heck yeah, I want to swim to the bottom of them.
Yeah. So something I've been theorizing, and I'm sure a lot of people is, but every single time that we have Zoras, we always have like Zora's, not Zora's domain, the water temple. Such a simple thing. I kept thinking like Zora Temple or something. No, Water Temple. The Water Temple. Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess. It's always like, you go to Lake Hylia, there's always like an island of sorts that's like poking out of the water. There may or may not be a bridge near it or other islands, but there's always like the main island there. And then underneath the island, underwater, is like a little opening that leads you to the Water Temple. And presumably that could be in Breath of the Wild. Like Breath of the Wild 2 could start, you get whatever ability it is that lets you swim underneath the water finally, and you go to this area that you've been so familiar with throughout the whole game, and you go there and suddenly there's just like a little hole or whatever. Or maybe you get like underwater special bombs or something that opens up the area, and like there's like, no, the Water Temple, it was there the whole time. Like Breath of the Wild, it always had the dungeons, you just couldn't get to them. And then that's just Nintendo's way of cleverly introducing all of these dungeons and temples that everyone's like, well, Breath of the Wild's
Every
Hyrule.
dungeon is the water temple now.
Yeah, like Breath of the Wild's Hyrule. Like, there's a lot of people. It's like, oh, it would be my favorite, but it doesn't have like traditional themed dungeons. And then Nintendo could just be like, no, it was always there. You just couldn't get to it. So
That sounds like something they do.
yeah.
Now every dungeon's the water temple. Careful what you wish for.
So
Please, I hate swimming mechanics so much.
so Josh, what is an area from the game that you would love to get some backstory or new story from?
So I'm a big nostalgia nut. I'm wearing a Link to the Past T-shirt right now.
Beautiful shirt.
Right, like I'm a huge nostalgia nut. So I'm gonna ask a couple questions because I want to make sure you guys are the pros here when it comes to. I got about 120 hours in Breath of the Wild, and I haven't touched it in probably a year and a half, if not longer. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Temple of Time is like in ruins, right? It's kind of near where you start the game, right?
Correct.
And then you mentioned there was also a nod to Skyward Sword, correct?
Yeah.
Is there nods to most of the past Zelda games, or a lot of them?
There is.
Yeah, there are nods. There are even hints to the CDI games.
No.
Interesting.
that is you looking too far into it.
No, there is the map. The
All
map
right,
from the
No.
CDI game.
No.
give us proof. Tell us more.
His proof is the skeleton in the desert. We've talked about it before. the giant skeleton in the desert.
No.
But it doesn't count.
I say it does count.
No.
It even has the same pointy nose for like a bone.
All right, that's it. It's time to make a video.
It's a
debunking Jesse's
podcast
theory.
over.
What have I done? I've already ruined it. Like, well, excuse me, princess, but no,
Jesse, we
like
can't be friends.
I'm just all about nostalgia, right? And
Right.
I loved like what Mario Odyssey did, where there was a lot of love just shown to the fans that have been with the series since the beginning, going back into the 8-bit stuff. I'm not saying I want to see Zelda do the same thing, but I would love to possibly experience some of the Ocarina of Time in Breath of the Wild. Like if the Temple of Time took us somewhere that we had to, you know, do some kind of quest that kind of just, it doesn't have to go back to looking like a 64 game, anything like that. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but to you know, maybe the game, part of the storyline is the Temple of Time. Maybe it plays a big part, and you have to go back to Zelda to Hyrule in different time periods and have something explored that way, but see it with the Breath of the Wild engine and just the way, you know, the way it would look. And so that's again, because I'm just such a big nostalgia nerd. I would love to see something like that.
I'm all over that. I love that.
Yeah,
That-
I think that's cool. Like, would we do them like for series kind of back, but we do like nostalgia style? Because I
Or
think
were you
someone
thinking like, you know, in spoiler alert, but you guys seen Avengers Endgame, right?
spoiler alert,
Yeah.
that was months ago.
I know, but like still, Endgame. Think about this. You know, in Endgame, they go back in time and they revisit a whole bunch of all these different events that happened in the Marvel movies of the past, right? So, are you thinking something along those lines, where you use the Temple of Time to time travel, as you know, it's been used to do in the past, and you revisit all these different times throughout the series that have already occurred that way, or like something similar to that, or
Yeah, something like that. It wouldn't necessarily have to be that extreme. But it could be the kind of thing that maybe there's even the opportunity where you have to meet up with young Link during his adventure in Ocarina of Time and hook him up with some kind of item, and then you move on. Like you already know how that story plays out, but maybe there's a twist that we have to play a
have to
part.
wear a costume.
Well, I don't have any idea, right? I'm just going off the cuff, but I mean,
Right.
anything that just kind of that is a nod to those classic games and those Easter eggs and anything like that. Like I don't want to see it completely rehashed where it's like we have to go back and redo, an entire game in the series or anything like that. But just those little nods that are like, but maybe a little more than just like, yeah, here's the Temple of Time, but like, well, maybe we run into a past character, past NPC, or things like that just that are a definite like, oh yeah, that was somebody from Ocarina of Time, and that was somebody from Link to the Past, and so on and so forth, or even a particular area, So
a link between I was gonna say a Link Between Worlds on the 3DS does this really cool thing to where they kind of hint towards the old man in that game. Most Zelda games have some sort of old man figure, and the old man in A Link Between Worlds is hinted at being the Link from A Link to the Past. So the original game that A Link Between Worlds was based on. And it's because in the 3DS Street Pass events, when you battle against someone else's Shadow Link or whatever, after you fight so many Shadow Links, it all ends with you fighting him. And of course he's dressed in like the green tunic and everything just as Link normally would be, and he's an older man like you would assume Link would be after so many years have passed. And then there's a guy that's like his roommate or a storyteller or someone like that.
It's the rumor guy, isn't he?
Yeah, and he says that the old man has been on like so many adventures or something like that before. So like there are like subtle hints at like him being the old Link, and then of course when you fight against him he has all of the same items that Link would normally have as well. So there are cool things like that to where like Nintendo has kind of like teased the idea of two separate Links from two different games coming into contact with each other. So
it's true. Plus, I mean, there's the Hero's Shade as well.
Oh yeah, that's a big
the
one.
ghost of Link past teaching moves to Twilight Princess Link. So
yeah,
it'd be great.
Yeah, and if it's the Temple of Time, like it is the Temple of Time, but like if it was a working Temple of Time, then like if it gets rebuilt along with the rest of Hyrule or whatever, then maybe they could use it again to somehow time travel. That's been my dream for, I guess this goes into like the area that I would like to see like redone, because I think a lot could yeah, kind of. But I feel that there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of possibility. No, that's not it. I don't know. Anyways, there's a lot of possibilities with the Temple of Time. Like, if they just moved the goddess statue out of the way, like that giant goddess statue, and there's like, if it was like built around the pedestal or whatever from Ocarina of Time, and Link puts this Master Sword in that pedestal, and then suddenly, just as when he puts it in the pedestal in the forest, it takes him to the Master Trials. If he did it in the Temple of Time, like in Twilight Princess when he does it, it makes that like that invisible step that goes up to the window, and then when he goes through the window it takes him to the Temple of Light or Temple of Time, whatever dungeon you would want to call it. But technically, like, that's supposed to be in like the Sacred Realm, which is the other dimension from Zelda games. And then in Ocarina of Time, when he uses the Master Sword and the pedestal, it takes him back and forth in time. So I would like to see how, if Breath of the Wild put the pedestal back in the Temple of Time, how could Nintendo now, like what kind of unique, cool idea could they come up with for it to be used in Breath of the Wild 2? So
And there's all sorts of ways they could repurpose areas too. Like we even saw them dabble with things like that in Champions Ballot, where they're like, "Oh, the room you wake up in the middle or at the beginning of the game, oh, now it's an elevator too." Just because there you go, we need a way to take you to this new area. So they could absolutely work something in easily.
Well, elevators are cool.
Elevators are cool, but
Yeah.
Temple of Time is cooler because it's again more of a nod to previous games, which I love.
All right. I guess for fifth one, does anyone have another area on their mind? Daniel, Tubes, Josh.
I'm like struggling to remember the game somewhat. So,
Oh,
like,
no.
Like, to be honest, like I'm like
Yeah. I don't see anyone in the chat naming anything.
Yeah.
I
don't
think Gibbs said in the chat. He said, "What if the statue is guarding a secret underground entrance?" Which reminds me of Wind Waker, where the big Hero of Time statue moves.
Oh
And
yeah, there's
the Master Sword hidden there.
the seventh
in Hyrule Castle.
the seventh heroine in the Gerudo region that like they built up story wise, but they never really did anything with.
Eighth heroine.
Eighth heroine, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, for me, honestly, anything Breath of the Wild that is more of a dungeon that we get to go and explore and have like puzzles in, that's I mean, that's the simple answer. But I think that's the thing everybody's been saying for a very, very long time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like that's and I mean. And not that I want to necessarily rehash the bosses from the old games, although that's happened for many, many iterations, right? But I do really hope, as far as like dungeons and just the boss fights, that we see some more variety. I want to see what some of the what some of these creatures could look like in the art style of Breath of the Wild versus just the bosses that we had, which were all very similar, other than, hey, maybe we'll add wings, or you know what I mean, like
yeah. I thought Wind Blight Ganon looked like a disfigured Mega Man because he has the huge
cannon?
the arm cannon.
Oh,
Oh dear.
I mean, I guess so.
that's
Yikes. Mega Man's seen better days. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, the only other area I could think of is maybe Castletown, because we see it in, and I know it sounds super cliche because we've probably talked about it to death before.
Yeah.
You see it in the cutscenes, in the memories, like this full thriving city, and then you go there in the game and it's just like ruins, and it's like a Guardian's playground.
Yeah.
So that's the only. It'd be
A
really cool to
Guardian's
see that
playground.
Yeah,
rebuilt
and,
or.
you even see the fan art of it and creating a champion as well, and it makes you really want to go back to that time, right? Or maybe go forward to that time, because
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe we rebuilt. Who knows?
All right. So, what, Daniel?
What?
What were you saying?
Go ahead.
Before I interrupted.
No, not that. I'm good. I'm not. I interrupted you. You're good. Go ahead, Jesse.
Oh, I was going to say, since we are going to the second topic, would Josh like to perform a demo of his song?
Ooh, it's dangerous to go alone. Are you guys ready? You guys ready for some live music? We'll see how it comes through on the recording here.
Yeah. So when can we expect the official version to come along?
Release?
Yeah, the real release. So I'm probably gonna sit down tomorrow and get it all knocked out, and then it'll take me probably another day just to get the music video done. So it'll be up on my YouTube channel by Wednesday. There we go. Wednesday.
By Wednesday.
I don't know when does this come out? When does this show come? Like,
I mean, we're live right now.
Yeah, we're this will remain up on YouTube, and then this segment, I'll probably just keep it at the end of the first, as like a reward for the people that sat through and watched
Those
it.
who tolerated us.
Yeah, and then that'll probably go up like Monday or Tuesday. So
okay, cool. Yeah. So it'll be a race. It'll be a race.
Yeah.
Editing race. It's on.
All right, here we go. I got the lyrics in front of me here. It's not a long song, but it's a lot of fun. I have some fun with this one. So it's called It's Dangerous to Go Alone, and it's all going to take place with I'm just going to record footage from the first game for it. So here we go. I'm waking in a field with a tunic and a shield. Danger, danger on all sides. I'm trying to be brave as I get into this cave. And I wonder what I will find. All started with a bearded man with a sword in his hand saying, take this, dangerous to go. With a sword in my hand, driving darkness from the land. Evil will not prevail. All the monsters I've slain while throwing my boomerang. Princess will not fail. I started with a bearded man with a sword in hand saying, take this, it's dangerous to go. With courage, power, wisdom, with a master sword, I will break your hold on this kingdom. With courage, power, wisdom, with a master sword, I will break your hold on this kingdom. I started with a bearded man with a sword in hand saying, take this, it's dangerous to go alone. Thank you.
Warms my soul.
Discord pooped on that entirely, but it was great. Oh man, I love it. That was great.
The song is too powerful for Discord to handle. That's what it is.
Bird wasn't ready for such beauty.
Exactly.
Oh man. Everyone seems really happy though. They loved that. They ate that right up.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I'll get a clear version out this week. So
Yeah.
I don't see
exciting.
any negative posts, so
No,
it's all good.
no, they're loving it.
Can you
We
imagine
got
someone's
some-
coming on the live chat like, how dare you guys sing on podcast?
So I sing to my subscribers when they come in to when they sub on my channel on Twitch.
Yeah.
And I had somebody who was like, you need to stop that and put the guitar away right now. I was like, what?
What?
Well, welcome.
Why?
They're like, I just
Why?
found you on TikTok. Stop playing your guitar. I was like, what? What?
They're there for the wrong reasons.
We're banning that person from the internet immediately.
Honestly.
This guy's like, no fun allowed.
Mm-mm. I love it. And thank you to JustX, Justin, and Danny for the super chats. I guess they loved the song that much they had to throw in their bits.
Awesome.
Throw in their biddies.
Their
Thank you
biddies.
guys in chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Danny says, now Daniel, you sing. Nope. I can't follow that performance.
I don't think I've ever heard Daniel sing.
Oh, do you watch my streams?
Oh, I mean like actually sing, not like not stream sing. Come on,
Not
everyone stream sings.
I think we all do it. Oh. No, that was great. So
I appreciate you
Thank
guys let me come on and play it. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
and
it's-
I mean, here's the other thing. On my YouTube channel right now, I have a Mario song called "Another Castle," and it's sang from the perspective of Mario trying to find his princess. And then last weekend, I was streaming, and I was like, guys, I'm gonna take a break from Animal Crossing. I want to record a song, write and record a song today. And they were like, ooh, write it about the weapons that break in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, so in 4 hours we wrote and recorded the entire thing, and then the next day I captured a bunch of footage and put the music together. And it looks like my little dude in Animal Crossing is not only the singer in the band, but then also running around and making the story happen. So
Yeah,
That's so great.
I love it. It's so good.
That's
it's a lot of fun.
fantastic.
yeah.
A lot of fun.
I need to go check that out.
All right.
So you guys
I'm
ready
on
for
to the
Paper Zelda?
Yee,
Let's
do it.
do it.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about a fan-made Paper Zelda trailer. They call it a parody, but as Zelda Universe says, it's less of a parody and more of a tribute, because instead of taking their own ideas and making like putting little paper Link through his own adventures, they take memorable moments from a bunch of past Zelda games and put them all together, but in a new Paper Mario style. So to quickly go around, what do you guys think about this? Have you guys seen the trailer? What do you think? How would you feel about a Paper Zelda, like an official Paper Zelda game? Because the thing is, a lot of people might see this and be like, oh, well, that's cool, but Nintendo would never do that or whatever. But there is like the tease from a long time ago when Breath of the Wild released, when Miyamoto and Aonuma were jokingly talking about working on Paper Zelda. I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember that,
Yeah.
Daniel? Because we talked about
I think
it
it
a few
was a Game
times.
Informer interview.
Yeah.
Where the guy just offhandedly asked them a bunch of questions, but one of them was just like Paper Zelda, and they're like, they're kind of joking about it, and I think Aonuma was even wearing a shirt that had a Link Between Worlds Link with in his painting form, and he was all like, is it Paper Zelda? But
Yeah.
they kind of offhandedly, they didn't say no, they were just like, well, we're not announcing it right now, basically.
Yeah.
So I mean,
And
you
then
never know.
later on in the interview, they said that they were working on the next 2D unannounced Zelda game, but they weren't ready to talk about it. But all Aonuma said was that he wants to evolve how people think about 2D Zelda games. And the best way, or the easiest way I could think of to evolve how people think about 2D Zelda would be an actual Paper Zelda. Because that would easily be completely different than anything they've done before. And because the only other way that I could think of is stuff they've already done, which is like after Minish Cap, they went to Phantom Hourglass and the other DS and 3DS top-down Zelda games. But they all had actual 3D models instead of 2D sprites. Like that, in a way, would be evolving what people thought of 2D Zelda. And then A Link Between Worlds again, because not only is it 3D character models, but it also has cutscenes where the camera isn't top-down. It comes around to like show a behind-the-back camera angle of what you would expect from like Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, but with A Link Between Worlds, this 2D top-down Zelda game. And then when you're on the wall, he becomes the painting and the camera comes down and the world again becomes 3D. So they've done it twice to where they've kind of evolved what people thought of 2D Zelda. So to do that again, I don't know how they would really go about it unless they did do something like what is shown in this trailer. But what do you all think about Paper Zelda? Starting with you, Josh, our guest.
Yeah, so I mean, the Paper Mario series isn't a series that I've played an awful lot of. The little bit that I have played, I do enjoy the creativity that Nintendo puts in to that series. And the other thing is like at this point, after like they basically put Zelda into Mario Maker 2, or put Link and Zelda-esque elements into that game. It's kind of like, I don't think anything's off the table at this point. You know, I
It's
really
true.
don't. And you know, the only thing, because this year's Mario's anniversary and next year is like Mario's 35th, and isn't next year like Zelda's 35th anniversary or something like that.
Yeah.
So it would not surprise me at all to see. I don't know that we'll see Paper Zelda necessarily, but if we did, I mean, cool. Let's see what happens and how creative. I know like somebody in chat was saying like that, you know, they hope it's not like Color Splash, because apparently I guess that game didn't go over well with some people, or whatever. The little bit that I did play of that one, I didn't seem to mind it, but I don't have the others to really compare it to be like, oh, I understand. You know what I'm saying? So the like the more the merrier, right? If this is such a beloved series, I mean, we've seen some great, like the music Zelda game that came out, right? What, Cadence of Hyrule, or is that what it was
Oh
called?
yeah, Cadence of Hyrule. Yeah.
Cadence.
Yeah. So I mean, at this point, I'm like, what? Why not bring it on? Let's go.
Yeah. No, I mean they could do it. Nintendo's such a wild card. They could do anything.
I'm
at
still
this
here.
point.
I just had to do something real quick.
Keep going. As soon as Link was in Mario Kart, it's like, what is happening now? I think like maybe a decade ago, it would be like a firm like, no, they're never going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've just been surprising us with weird crossovers, like Link and Mario Kart, Hyrule Warriors happening,
Right.
letting indie developers take on pretty much a new Zelda game with Cadence. Like, I don't think anything's off the table for Nintendo. It's so hard to be to ever say Nintendo wouldn't do that, unless you're saying like, oh, making online functionality good. But otherwise,
Isn't
I don't know.
The teams behind Xenoblade, aren't they working on?
Yeah,
aren't they working on some kind of Zelda RPG also?
I don't know about that. I know they worked on helping with Breath of the Wild's world design.
Yeah, let me do a quick.
They developed the Monolith Soft. They developed their Xenoblade team. A huge group of them worked on Breath of the Wild. They did so well that Nintendo kept having them work on DLC. They gave free DLC as like a thank you to help promote Xenoblade, which is why we had the crazy Xenoblade DLC for Breath of the Wild, where it's just a quest, you're in around, and then you could have a Xenoblade outfit on Link during Breath of the Wild. And that was all free DLC just to promote Xenoblade. But then Breath of the Wild, after it sold so well, and Nintendo was like, oh wow, well, they really did really well working on Breath of the Wild. So then Nintendo had Monolith Soft, a third party, create their own dedicated Zelda team. So now not only do they basically like hired a bunch of new people and then split the team into two teams, to where there was the original Xenoblade team and now there's the Zelda team, which I guess is all the people that worked on Breath of the Wild. But it isn't clear if they're working on something entirely new, a crossover, because Nintendo seems to be doing every kind of crossover you can think of now, with like the Mario Cross Rabbids, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, Cadence of Hyrule. They have the Mario 2D puzzle game that's on smartphones and that was on 3DS. There's the Fire Emblem Pokemon crossover. I think it's Fire Emblem. It's a game like Fire Emblem.
I don't know.
But they're doing so many crossovers, so it could be Nintendo also lately loves doing remakes, so it could literally be anything. They could be making a brand new Zelda game, they could be making a new Zelda game with a twist, so it could be like a brand new game, but it's just a spin-off. It could be a remake. It could be like porting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess to the Switch. It could be a crossover game. It could be literally anything. They could just have their own official team just to help out with Breath of the Wild 2. It could literally be anything, we don't know. But it is cool to try to think about what exactly they would be doing.
And the tweet came out March 27th, 2019 from Monolith Software. They were basically with the link to their recruitment page,
Oh.
which had I mean modeling artists, animation artists, effects artists, character control programmers, tools programmers, framework programmers. I mean the list goes on and on. The DualShockers article that I have here says tweeted today that the studio is looking to recruit multiple experienced developers to work on a new game part of the Legend of Zelda series. But again, I don't we don't have any definite or any firm answers. So
Yeah. Oh.
Wild.
And I would also
Probably
like
just
to.
like oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, you go.
I was gonna say it's probably just like a really classic case of Nintendo being like, "Hey, we have all of these projects going on, and we're not going to talk about any of them until literally right now. We're dropping the trailer. It comes out next month."
Yeah.
True.
But
True. How many times in a direct have they been like, and this game comes out later today? we're like so,
Yep.
yeah.
So with the Paper Zelda thing, the last thing that I would like to say is that like Nintendo, with Super Mario Odyssey, for instance, they took a lot of ideas from past Zelda games and put them all together in Mario Odyssey to where a Link Between Worlds, to where Link could go to like a 2D painting on the wall. Now Mario does that, but instead of a painting, he turns into the 8-bit Mario. Minish Cap had the hat that would talk to Link and guide him through his adventure. Mario Odyssey, Mario has a hat that talks to him, guides him through the adventure. Phantom Hourglass and some of the other, I think maybe there's one other game to where, just using Phantom Hourglass, Zelda could go into one of the enemies and you could take control of that enemy. It was just the guard at the time.
Yeah,
but
so that's Spirit Tracks.
that was Spirit Tracks.
With, yeah.
Phantom Zelda, that was like your companion character. Now in Mario, your companion character, you throw your hat to them and once again you become that character. But instead of just one specific enemy, it's all enemies. So where they've taken a bunch of these cool aspects from past Zelda games and put them inside a Mario game, it would be cool to take a past Mario game, like a unique idea from a past Mario game, and then put that into a Zelda game. And if that is Paper Mario and putting that into Paper Zelda, I think that would be really cool. But I would also really love to see like a Mario RPG type thing, but like a Zelda RPG.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like if they asked me what kind of like weird spin-off would I like. That's what I would go with. But yeah. So yeah, Tubes, Daniel, do you guys have anything else?
Other than this Paper Zelda trailer that's fan made by this 64-bits guy. You guys haven't watched it, right? You guys should. I'm so impressed with just how fluid those animations are and how like well put together that trailer is, and it's just a series of nods to past Zelda games, and even Zelda 2, which is often overlooked, and it's so well done. Like when I watched it back when it was first posted, I was blown away. I was like, this looks so well done. It looks official. Like it looks like the real thing. That's how well done it is. So just give that guy that made that trailer some serious love if you haven't. I mean, he's clearly not hurting. His video's got almost 300,000 views, but with 32,000 thumbs up and only 77 thumbs down. So it's a pretty great ratio. So like I don't know who would thumbs down it ever because it's so well done, but it's well deserved, the love that he's gotten for that one. It's really high quality stuff, and it's amazing how one person can put together something that well done. You know what I mean? So that's really all I have to say about it. Is just I'm impressed mostly.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I was gonna say, like, what Daniel said was the way that, like, the nods to, like, all of the other Zelda games I thought was really cool and really well done, and that was a big drawing point to that trailer for me. The other thing I wanted to say as well is I've probably mentioned it on a previous podcast, is that like Nintendo going out and doing all of these really cool things and all of these partnerships and working with companies that they normally wouldn't work with is because Nintendo has come to a point where they're like, Nintendo is no longer competing with PlayStation or Xbox. That's like, they've already come out and said that. That's not their competition. Their competition at this point is time. So if you wonder why things like Netflix aren't on Nintendo Switch, it's because they're competing with time. They want you to be playing their games instead of watching Netflix. So I think to be bringing all of these other factors and elements in is just them really wanting to be able to reach out to so many different audiences and then also kind of have that nostalgia factor that like drives it home for people. And that was like the last like training session I ever had at Nintendo where they said straight up, they're like, we're only competing with time. Should we move on? You guys are all
No,
Yeah,
like
I guess so.
I don't know. I was waiting for someone else to say something. I guess we were all waiting.
you guys all just like
If I start talking, I don't shut up. So that's why I just like to wait, because it's just the podcaster me will go on and on and on. So, you know.
the exit stage. Right, that's right for me.
Which would be stage left. It's stage right from the audience perspective. Oh,
Oh, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the weird thing with me. I had something similar that 𝐓𝐼𝐬𝐥𝐿 did whenever I was texting the guy, the producer for the Zelda Symphony, and when Daniel and I
It's
first
Michael
met.
Paul.
Yeah.
3 first names.
When Daniel and I first started the podcast, we got some tickets to go interview him and some of the other people that was there. But he told me to like, he sent me a text. He's like, yeah, just come meet me at stage left. And I'm like, but like from where I'm looking, or like from where like you, like what? Like which way's left? So
Oh my goodness.
I had one
That
of those
guy,
moments.
He does not. He is so not what I expected when I met him, because you see the symphony, everybody's dressed, all the people in the symphony, the conductor, everyone, they're all dressed to the nines, like it's such a legit symphony. And we were at this very I think it was Queen Elizabeth Theatre in Vancouver here, but it was a really, really fancy pants venue that we're at. And then he's wearing like these neon Nikes. You know, like he just was so not what I expected when I met him. But it was a very chill dude. He was a really cool guy.
He could have been wearing toe shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have canceled the interview. I said, you know what, it's a privilege and an honor to be here, but I cannot I cannot continue. No, absolutely
He just
not.
waves with his toes when you leave.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't judge a man by his shoes. That's not fair.
Yeah, not after that one, hey? You're just like, you know what, all shoes are game unless they're toe shoes.
I was so nervous though when I went to do that interview, because you can't tell in the video because it's off screen, but my knees were shaking. Like I was like so nervous. We got to go like up on the stage and do it and everything, and it was like they're just like taking the stage down. He's like, let's just do it right here, and I'm like, I feel like we're so in the way in the middle of everything. Just it's so out in the open, but it was really cool. You can't tell in the interview at all in the
It's
video.
such a bummer that like I wasn't part of the crew at that point, because when I worked at Nintendo, I actually worked with one of the girls that does she helps train and she does singing for that symphony, and so she travels all over for it because she works at Nintendo as well. So when you guys told me about that, I was like,
They were here in Vancouver. You could have come. At that point. No, it was really cool though. It was cool. But I digress. We're getting off topic. Sorry, Jesse.
No, it's fine. We just have the Q&A, so.
we don't have any questions.
Do we have any cues? No, I
From the
managed.
chat.
I got a couple from the old Discord. I'm gonna check again.
All right, Daniel,
Check.
you will go first. Then, when
I will go first.
after the intro for it.
Sure.
So find your question, since you're the question man.
Question man.
Yeah. It's like when you were streaming Majora's Mask the other day. And you were with Cafe looking into the Curiosity Shop,
Right.
waiting on the Curiosity Man. Well,
Yeah.
now like we're all looking at you
Uh-oh.
for the questions.
Except I'm not peddling stolen goods. like the curiosity shop.
Are you sure? Have you seen your background?
I'm sure.
Stolen.
I can assure you, I have no stolen goods.
Daniel was the one who robbed that infamous amiibo truck long ago when they first came out. Do you remember that?
Probably our biggest
I remember that.
bags.
It was like a Walmart
Oh.
truck or something was stolen just specifically for the amiibo
I believe
to
it,
resell
yeah.
the amiibo online because all the amiibo were going for like ridiculously high prices.
I recall.
It is insane. Anyways,
But I mean, you guys keep poking at my collection. I know for a fact Josh has a bigger amiibo collection than I do. I'm just putting that out there.
well,
Every amiibo still in the box.
He has all of them, guys.
are you sure you didn't hoard them?
Every
all?
amiibo.
Dang, Josh. Get it.
Yeah, and I guess I'm missing the 2 Skylander amiibo. If you're talking about North America releases, those are the 2 I'm missing. But
Wait. So you can help me with this. I
Okay.
told Daniel like a few weeks ago or something about the amiibo for Skylanders. That
Yeah,
was
you were
like
right.
Donkey Kong and the other one.
Bowser.
Bowser. That could like switch between an amiibo and a
Oh, yeah,
Skylander
we were having
thing.
this conversation. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it was Daniel was telling me like that doesn't exist. That was a fever dream you had. And
I
I'm like,
was
no,
wrong.
they exist.
I
Like,
looked
they're-
it up.
they're
I was
real.
wrong. I admit it. I admit I'm.
We both said that it was a fever dream because I think that was on the last podcast I was on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
no,
like,
was
I
wrong.
did not
admit it.
imagine this. Like, because I remember, like, I wasn't excited when I seen it. I was kind of bummed out. I was like, this? Like, I guess that's alright, but I don't want to buy Skylanders just to play as Bowser.
Not only do they exist, but there's 2 versions of each one too. So
Oh.
there's a, yeah, you got to get. I think there's one that you have to get like in a special edition that's they're like in black costumes, and then there's also the regular colored one as well. So
Alright. So, with everyone, please have your questions ready in the live chat. We will get to them after we do a couple of the questions from the mailbag. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the Zelda Mailbag for the Hylian Gamescast. Today, our special guest is N64Josh, who has a song coming out here in a couple of days about the Legend of Zelda. So please go visit his YouTube channel or his website, N64Josh.com.
there you go.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was going to be like one of those that's like N64Josh.com/ blah blah dot blah blah blah. Because like there's
Less is more. Less is more. Keep
no,
it
there's
memorable.
there's a lot of people that have like websites, but it's like built off of another website. So like you got to type in the original thing, and then it takes you to the second domain. Anyways, if you're watching this, you can leave your comments in the live chat or the comments below, and we will come and collect them and put the good ones in our Zelda mailbag. But if you want to
Only
guarantee
the good ones.
to have your question read on the Zelda mailbag, you can head to patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can get a bunch of really cool stuff, as well as guaranteeing your question or discussion topic featured on the podcast. So, our first question, Daniel, do you have it?
I do. So we got 3 that were submitted in the hour since I posted it on Discord. But this one I thought was pretty topical, pretty relevant, I think, to all of us. It's from Tetra. She asked, "What has been the most helpful thing for each of us during this time of quarantine and self-isolation and all that? What's been most helpful for us getting through this time?"
Are you gonna
I don't know
answer
who's
the
gonna go
question?
first. I guess I'll go first since I'm asking. I'm just gonna say I can't imagine being a single person or a bachelor going through this time. That sounds like torture. So I think I'm gonna say 2 answers. One, they're both gonna be very cliche. One is the fact that I'm living at home with my family and that I have my wife and my son here who I can interact with and not be alone, with myself, because I'm probably not the best company. They're good company. I don't think I would be good company. So
Disagree.
there is that, and also they're super great. So maybe I'm biased. The other the other thing has been Animal Crossing, actually, and having good games to play and being able to stream and interact with people online. Because I mean, aside from just having to do work from home and my family, I it's been nice to keep in touch with everybody that I normally would be able to. And I won't lie, it's since this whole thing started, I've seen a bit of an increase in viewership. So I guess people have a little more time on their hands as well. But it's been really great being able to keep in touch with everybody through my live streams and videos and stuff. So that's also been very helpful for me, I think. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, those of you in my Discord or anyone that follows me on Twitter probably knows how I've been handling. But I'll speak the positives. So, mostly what's been getting me by is I'm an essential worker. I work at least 15 hours a week, so I have to go out and work with people. And honestly, that's my saving grace. If I didn't have those 15 hours a week in public, as scary as it might be, I'd probably go stir crazy or have cabin fever by now. And the other part of it is honestly, like, the people that I interact with daily, like, I have, like, a Discord chat for, like, people that come and hang out when I'm on stream, and so, like longtime followers and supporters of, like, myself and Jesse and Daniel. And they are definitely, like, the glue that keeps me together. And I think without them, that this would be a much harder thing to go through, because it's like, oh, like, I'm having a bad day, and they're like, you know what, bad day, Animal Crossing, we're gonna shower you with gifts, we're gonna wish you a good day, and it's awesome. I love being surrounded by so many positive minds, and also just knowing that, like, if you're struggling, then at least you have a place of comfort to go to, and we're all just gonna jump on you with love, so.
That's great.
All right,
That's awesome.
Josh.
Yeah, for me, I've just been creating a ton, like writing new music, streaming, getting, like, so many Animal Crossing videos out. It's been great. I started using TikTok, like, way more. I set up two different accounts for TikTok, one for N64Josh and one for my band until today, or my band is just me, but and so I've just been having a blast, just creating and meeting new people, and of course Animal Crossing has it's been crazy. I started Animal Crossing cribs on my YouTube channel, so I go and visit other people's islands and just
nice.
get tours and
I love it.
Find out what they you know, how they're creating their island and what they like to collect and things like that. So
that's
That's
fantastic.
awesome. I love it.
I've been having a lot of fun doing that.
All right. I guess I have really the only thing that has changed for me is less visits to the grocery store, and it's a little harder with the daughter, because when I go to the grocery store or whenever I do something, I always have to try to make sure that I have someone to watch her, because I don't want to take her, because she likes to grab everything. That's the only hard part, but I can get my take her to my mom's and have her watch Layla while I go and do all of that stuff. But other than that, not too much has changed, because where YouTube is my primary job anyways, most of my time was spent trying to edit or work on videos anyways. And now it's just, I have an excuse to stay inside all day and do that. To whereas before, some people might be like, hey, why don't you go out with us or something? And I'm like, oh, I would, but I want to finish this video. Now it's like, well, I just have an excuse to stay in, basically. So not too much has changed for me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I miss high fives.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine, like, I just started a new position at my same company, but I'm meeting a bunch of people. The handshake is officially dead. It is an
Oh.
obsolete thing. I don't think the handshake is ever coming back.
You have
So
to
I met a
elbow.
handful of people that I only remember names if I shake your hand. So now I'm like,
Do you? That's
yeah,
interesting.
that's like if I'm meeting a group of
Why
people.
she never remembers my name?
What if they're wearing gloves?
If I'm meeting a new group of people, if I don't shake your hand, I probably won't remember your name after.
Oh,
It's
no.
really weird. I don't know why.
Interesting.
The handshake is gone, and I'm really excited for a hug. It's something I look forward to most.
I'm not. I was never a hugger. So I'm fine. People who know me in real life know I'm just like a very touchy person, like very the opposite of Kayla. Like I'm just like I feel like a piece of me shrink inside when someone wants to hug me, and I'm like, okay, like sometimes out of or like to be social, sure I'll accept it, but I'm just so not a huggy person. And one time at an old job, actually, and Kayla's heard the story a million times, but there was like we had a new assistant manager starting, and it was her first day. I'd met her one time before at like a big conference, like a year before that, and that was it. And she comes up to me, she's like, "Hi, Daniel," and she gives me this big hug, and like I feel my neck, like I became a turtle, and my neck like completely receded into my torso somehow, and my shoulders were like touching my ears, and I'm like, just not a huggy person. Unless you're my wife or my son, I'm just not very huggy. So.
Nice.
This is true. I've known Daniel for almost 3 years now, and I've gotten a total of 3 hugs from you. And
Yeah.
one of them was a bonus hug because we were having an emotional conversation.
It's when I left that job, I told everyone, I said, okay, I know everyone wants to hug me as they say goodbye because it's my last day at this job. You all get 1 hug each and a minimum of, you cannot exceed 4 seconds of contact. There's a 4-second rule, 1 hug each. Every single one of them violated the 4-second rule. Every single one of them.
Oh my goodness.
I was very disappointed. I ended up just having to cut. They ruined it for the rest of them. I ended up cutting everyone off.
There's people in the
remember
chat
actually-
saying they'll break into your house and hug you.
That's I've
Super
heard
like-
that a lot. A lot of people have said that to me.
Still on topic with Daniel and the hugs. My first interaction with Daniel ever, we were working at Starbucks together, and I remember there was a 4-liter jug of milk, but like the spout was like crushed in a little bit, and he looks at this jug and he's like, "That jug of milk looks like someone just tried to hug it," and it's going like.
that was me.
Okay, this guy doesn't like hugs. Noted.
That's just me. I'm just not a hugger. I will shake your hand. Don't worry. Well, not now, I guess. Now I won't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But now, at least, if someone goes to hug me, I can be like, "Hey, man, no," and it's not gonna be weird.
All right.
High fives and handshakes are not off the table, though. At least for me. Just wash your hands, guys.
Contact guidelines with Bergerson now.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 questions left. Tubes, do you have your question picked?
There's
Or from
not
the
many
live chat?
questions here, so I don't know which question to pick out of these.
And if folks watching right now, watching this live, want to throw a question in the chat,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can do that too.
Just in the chat says
Unless the question is asking me to.
N64Josh. I'm sorry, I've never heard of you before. You seem cool. I'll be looking for you on YouTube in a non-creepy, non-stalker kind of way.
That's
That's
always...
unfortunate. I was really hoping for the creepy stock. I mean, it's all right. Either way, I'm good with it either way. So it's fine.
Both are good.
Hey, let's have a little bit of fun with these questions. Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys some questions.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So one of the questions I like to ask when I interview somebody is like, what is a game that you haven't completed that we're all going to judge you for? But I'm going to start with you guys. This could be a little more specific. Is there a Zelda game that you have not completed that we are going to judge you for?
Both
Any of
the
them.
Oracle games. They're the only ones that I've never completed, and I
Any
feel
particular
still
reason why?
ashamed.
Especially
growing
since
up,
they're
never
on the
had a-
DS.
I didn't have a Game Boy or Game Boy Color,
Okay.
growing up, and it's just been one of those things that's always been on my radar. But there's always been something that's taken precedent. So it's always been B-list. Like, well, not B-list sounds harsh, but like I'm like, oh, I want to get that game, but there's this other game, I should get that instead. You know.
Okay. So follow-up question: would you love to see both of those games done in the Link's Awakening art style?
Oh yes, 100%.
Okay.
100%. Because before that, I had only played through Link's Awakening one time before. And then Link's Awakening came out. I love that remake. That remake was so well done. It fixed every issue I ever had with the original. I beat it 2 times through, all the way, 100%, within like 6 weeks of it coming out. So, which maybe sounds like a lot, but keep in mind I stream and work a full-time job and all this other stuff. But like 2 times all the way through. Usually I'll beat a game through and I'll give it some time to chill, but I was like so enamored with that game. I was like, well, now I gotta play it again and not die, and so I can get the real ending. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah. Chu, how about you?
How
So
about you?
everyone knows that I haven't played any of the 2D games, or well, I've played some 2D games, but I haven't played anything that existed on the DS. I did not play. But I still think the one that I'm most ashamed of is that I've beaten this game now, but I hadn't beaten it until I played it on stream, which is Majora's Mask. I beat that game for the first time last year.
Okay. All right.
Well,
Yeah.
Josh is judging you for sure.
No. I've never played Majora's Mask, not at all, and I own it. I own multiple copies of it. So.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I feel less bad about myself. But
Yeah,
like, what am what am I good friend?
I'm if you want, Josh, if you want to pretend you know what you're talking about, I've been. But just
Mic hit-
silent
your
plug.
mic-
Yeah, your
Just
mic
put-
cut out when you did that.
No! There goes. Discord is like, no, don't plug yourself, Daniel. No plugs today.
Yeah, I didn't beat Mario 64 until like 2019.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
wow.
have never beaten Mario 64.
Oh, I've definitely
I've played it. I've gotten very far through it, but I've never beaten Mario 64. And same goes Donkey Kong 64. The first time I beat it was 2015, and I'd had that game since 1999.
Oh wow.
So there's games that have always been on my backlog. I'll get to it eventually, but first time I played Super Metroid was also 2015. It's I'm catching up though. I'm making up for lost time. So 2015 was a good year, I guess, in hindsight.
Jesse, how about you? Is there any Zelda games you haven't completed?
Breath of the Wild.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What? No, you've played Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, but I've not
Wait,
beat
is-
it.
You've never
beat
beat
You
it.
haven't beat it. Like
I've never
how
fought
much
Ganon.
Have you played it?
I played through the game,
Mm-hmm.
got to the point to where you're basically at the castle going to fight Ganon, and then my little brother just took my Switch when I had it sat down, and then he just played it and beat it, and I watched him, and I was just like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be doing
Did
this then.
Did you do the DLC?
Yeah, I did the DLC.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh.
But not
no,
all of it.
So just Ganon. That's all you didn't do.
You
Is,
didn't
is
do all
you?
of
No, I didn't beat the monk either.
Oh my goodness.
He did literally the exact same thing when you get to like the final new Divine Beast dungeon thing, and you have to fight the
That means
monk.
you didn't get the motorcycle?
No, he got the motorcycle for me.
He got the
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jesse.
It's time to start over.
But then I was like, I'm gonna go back to master
and I'm going
mode.
to force you to beat the game.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go back to master mode, and now I'll get my chance to do all this.
Were you super mean to him as a kid, and you're just
No,
trying to pick?
no,
Like
he's
this-
he's like
His revenge.
he's like 10, so like I wasn't mean to him. It was just like in his
There's
mind, he's
always
like
a rule in my house. You don't play each other.
no, in his mind, he's probably like, oh, I'm gonna help him beat this, and I'm like, you're not helping me. You're just doing it for me. I can do
Oh.
it myself. I taught you how to play the game. Remember?
So my little brother
gotta
was
know
probably
Josh.
three quarters of the way through Ocarina of Time, and I went to work one day and I was like, or school or something, and I was like, hey, if you don't have this beat by the time I get back, just erase your save because you're never playing it again. And I was kidding him. I came back and his file had been erased.
Oh my goodness. brothers were so mean. Okay,
Aye.
my brother
Yeah.
did something similar to me. It was Star Fox Adventures. There was a part, like, I'm, like, almost done the game, and I get stuck. And he's like, oh, you're stuck on this part? It's because you didn't do this, 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 and this at the very beginning of the game. You have to restart. And I was like, okay.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Here's the thing. I don't feel so bad because he deleted my 98% complete Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo.
Ooh.
No!
And so I was like, yeah, I don't feel bad at all. No.
Oof.
I don't care that
Sibling
you couldn't
life.
read when you did that, but we're 8 years apart, so he was just little. But okay, you guys want to know what game I haven't beat?
Lay it on us,
Yeah.
Josh.
What Zelda game?
Any game. Well, sure, Zelda. We'll do Zelda.
The list is extensive. Majora's Mask. I've never beat the first Zelda. I'm almost all the way through it. I have a save that I'm almost through it. Never beat the second Zelda. My first completed Zelda was Link to the Past, and then I still have my gold cart from when I was like 15 or 16 from Ocarina, and could not put that one down.
Oh.
Never beat Twilight Princess. I beat Phantom Hourglass, but I couldn't handle Spirit Tracks. It just was not my thing. I loved Wind Waker, played through that. I'm probably 3/4 of the way through Skyward Sword, like right now on my Wii U. But I actually got to a point where I was like, I'm not really sure what to do here, and I refused to look something up. And yeah, so, but and then I started the Wind Waker HD remake. I don't open my amiibo, so my Twilight Princess is boxed, and then I finally found a used copy, so I do have a used copy. I could actually play that one now, but yeah. So
What's the game that you haven't beaten that you're most ashamed of, though?
Ooh, that I'm most ashamed of.
Which one's like people are talking about video games and you're like,
Ooh.
that one,
Yeah,
but
I've
we
got
can't talk
a
about
few.
that.
I got a few non-Zelda ones that.
Yeah, probably the being the biggest, as big of a Mario fan as I am, probably Sunshine.
Hmm.
I've
I
never
never did
completed it.
I never did Sunshine.
So I was going full on completionist when the game came out, and I got to a sprite that I couldn't, like a shine sprite or whatever, that I couldn't reach, and I just was like, if I can't get past this, I'm not. And I've since gone back and started playing it again, and actually found areas that were broken, because it's like you need to have Yoshi for certain things, but then like the game doesn't tell you this, and you can keep going into the same area and nothing changes because something isn't unlocked yet. I was like, this is so crazy. So yeah, Sunshine I have not completed, but I think that's I think that's kind of it. I think Majora's Mask is probably one of the biggest ones for me, that I was like, as such being such a big fan of Ocarina, that I just I never went back to.
Dang.
I have such a big shame list. Yours seems so like.
Oh, I'm sure there's more. You'll
No
probably mention
Final
something
Fantasy
like,
games. Like
same.
I've never played any
Same.
Final Fantasy. And I know people love those games. Sunshine, and both Galaxy games.
That hurts me so much because those games are so good.
I know they are. They have been.
good.
I've heard, but I never got through them. There's so many. There's too many to go. I could go on too long, but those are the big ones that I get a lot of flack for when people start talking Final Fantasy or Galaxy, and I'm like, never did. I never did.
Yeah, I've never played Chrono Trigger.
Same. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, me either.
That's one
Everyone
of those
loves
big.
that game, and I'm like,
It's one of those big ones that I never played it.
I think Jesse's muted, maybe.
Jesse, are you muted?
Sorry.
Sorry. He back.
So for the third question, a donation from Gibbs for $2. What does Josh think about the good guy Ganondorf theory? Do you know of this theory? So in the tapestry map behind Impa in Breath of the Wild, the one that tells the story of the calamity and everything and the hero fighting against Ganondorf, the image some people think resembles Ganondorf more than Link because it's like characterized,
red hair.
and he's like broader, has red hair, and stuff. So people were like, well, it's more muscular, he has red hair, that's not Link with the Master Sword fighting Ganondorf. That's like Ganondorf fighting Ganon. But Ganondorf and Ganon are, supposed to be the same person.
They
So
are.
some people, the theory suggests that Ganondorf, separated himself from Ganon. So now Ganon is its own entity. And that's why it was in the Calamity form or whatever, to where it's just like evil ooze or whatever. And then Ganondorf had to there's a bunch of different versions, but basically it's saying that it wasn't Link as the original hero, it was good guy Ganondorf as the original hero. So
I mean, how's the old saying go? You live long enough to become the villain, right?
Oh yeah. Either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. So I mean, I wish I remembered the scene, honestly, because it's just been too long to be able to give a little more give some more a better opinion on it. But I mean, you just, look at some of the greatest stories that we that have been told in our lifetime, like Star Wars, things like that. Oftentimes you see the good guy become the villain later on. Like maybe there is some history there. Maybe he was seduced by the dark side.
Maybe he was a good guy.
Yeah.
No. I made a whole video tearing that theory apart.
Maybe no one was ever nice to Ganon, and that's why he's such a mean. You're just mean. I'm not gonna unpack that one. Daniel's about to take one boat ride over here and strangle me.
Boats ain't running. You're lucky. Oh no, it's just no. I don't like the theory. But
the memes I've seen of Ganondorf with his sword in Isabelle's forehead, I'm just not sure that guy was ever a good guy.
No.
No. If you can hit Isabelle with a sword, you yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is super off topic, and I really apologize for it, but it's kind of on topic with the hitting Isabelle with the sword.
Okay.
If anyone had ever watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the person that actually had created JoJo's, he depicts all of the character. If you're a bad character, you're hurting a dog. So one of the biggest enemies or biggest villains in the anime/manga series, the first intro you see of him is him coming out of a car and kicking a dog, and that's basically it. If you're gonna hurt a dog, you're a bad person.
I mean, that's true.
So if you hurt Isabelle, you're a bad person.
Exactly.
So what you're saying, every time we play Smash and you and you pick Isabelle,
you can't win.
Yeah, I can't. There's no winning. It's either I win the match, but I lose socially.
Yeah.
Those are my options.
All right.
All I can say is that I love watching what chat's saying right now. That there's so much discussion about this, and so many people have so many different opinions on it. That I think it's pretty awesome, honestly, that the question exists, and that people are speculating that way. I think it's great. I love being able to delve deeper into the lore of some of these games and find things out about them. I think it's awesome.
But I hate the theory.
Does anyone have a final question to wrap up?
I can ask one of the questions on this, so no offense, but it's very vague and I don't understand it.
Which one?
It's the very last one.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even read it. I just copied it into the doc, into the Google Doc here. I didn't actually read it, but now I'm reading it. I'm like, wait, huh? This doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
I don't understand this question.
I get it. This is okay. So, sorry, Denny, I've ripped apart your question, but now I've read it again and I understand. So, Denny asks, what is the one thing you know isn't gonna happen, but you want it to or think it would be fun? And so for me...
But context, is this related to... Zelda specifically? Denny's in the chat here. I need him to clarify.
Denny hasn't played enough Zelda games to have an opinion, so I'm thinking he's probably he's probably
Wow.
talking about video games in general.
Oh, that's so.
Oh, he's gonna for that one.
That's rough.
But what I was
talking
gonna
about
say.
Breath of the Wild 2? Like, are we talking like let's have weapons that, like,
Okay.
weapons to
Okay.
break, but we know it's gonna happen? You know, that kind of thing.
Okay, so he's talking about Zelda. I thought he just meant in general, because I know one thing that I wish would happen, but I don't think it ever would be, which would be, I'm sorry guys, a DLC to fix Animal Crossing. There's a lot missing in that game for me as an Animal Crossing player.
There could be DLC though. But you said that's not gonna happen. But
Well, I feel
weren't
like...
you on that video? No, weren't you? No, it was Geek Apprentice's video. You
Miss Click.
clicked on it. You were on her other one. But Geek Apprentice, who you guys might know from this very podcast, she's not here today, had this whole video on Animal Crossing DLC and what she thinks it's gonna happen actually.
Yeah, like, I'm sure they
Makes good
will,
points.
but I'm just worried that they won't be able to fix the holes that exist currently in the game. The void that hasn't been filled for me.
I don't know. My void is filled, so I don't know what you're missing, but that's okay. What's your answer to this question, Chewy?
Well, I'm
Throw it
trying to
on.
think of one Zelda related now.
Please tell Denny that he is valid. That's all he needs
Yes,
to know.
yes, Denny is valid, guy.
Denny is Daniel's biggest fan.
Danny, you know that we love you.
If there was an award for biggest Daniel fan, not only would he have it, he would carry it around to like McDonald's and just shove it into people's faces and be like, "Hey, did you see this? I like him more than you."
Danny's the kind of
That's
person that would
very
go
true.
around and write like Ferguson's like Patreon link down everywhere.
He does that on my stream all the time.
I
almost
IRL.
that too. He would. He'll be on the stream. He'll just throw it in the chat. We did Animal Crossing, and then he comes on my island, and it just his little chat bubble keeps popping up. Patreon.com. And I'm like, I never need to promote Patreon. Denny's got me covered.
Yep, he's great.
It's true.
Ooh, I know one thing that will never happen. I'd love to see Minda in another game. I love Minda. She's my favorite character. I don't think we'd ever see anything like that again.
No,
No.
I agree.
Jesse,
That's a fun one.
what's wrong with your face?
Nothing.
What do you got going on in your brain?
I'm gonna break Jesse's heart with my answer, and that is an HD Ocarina of Time remake for Switch. It would be fun, but I really genuinely don't think it's gonna happen. And I'm so sorry, Jesse. I know.
Hey,
It doesn't need to be done!
if they're gonna be remaking Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy for the 35th anniversary of Mario,
Mhm.
come on, why can't we get? Those are all 3D games. If we just get 3D
Yeah.
Zelda remakes next year,
I could
Sure.
like see a port of the game because they've already kind of
give us Zelda All Stars.
Zelda All-Stars. Yeah.
I would love it. And don't get me wrong, if they came out, if a direct came out and they said, "Hey, we're re-releasing it, Ocarina of Time HDs," I'm gonna buy it. Don't get me wrong. I would totally buy it
Yep.
and play it 100 times through and stream it and everything, and I'd love it. But I don't think it's gonna happen. That's just my opinion, though. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It happens often.
Or you could be right.
So, but I could also be right. So.
Everyone's saying Skyward Sword HD. I think that's gonna happen, though, guys. Like,
It could. That's the only one that's
It
missing
could.
at this point.
it could. That one
Out
is
of the
most
3D
likely,
Zelda.
I feel. What about you, Jessup?
Jesse, if you can get over the emotional heartbreak of what I
I don't
just said.
I don't know what's wrong with him. I think we've just really hurt his feelings this episode.
No, so that I want to happen, but I don't think will.
Right.
Jesse's like Zelda fantasies playing in the background.
A Zelda game that looks like the Zelda Wii U tech demo that we got.
Oh, the tech demo with Armagoma
Yeah. When they
and Twilight
first...
Princess Link, who has Navi for some reason.
Yeah.
And
That was a good demo.
Yeah.
That'd be-
no, the art style is really good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That'd be really
reminded
cool.
me of like if Square Enix tried to make like a Final Fantasy look for Twilight Princess. Like that's kind of what I would see them going with. So if like they made a full game that looked like that, and I knew it wasn't going to happen when I seen it. I wanted it to, but I was like, there's no way. Like maybe in like this one small room, the Wii U could handle this, but there's no way like this game would run. Like if you went out into like the huge open Twilight Princess field, there's no way the Wii U would be able to handle all of that and render
Why
it
not?
perfectly.
Why not? The Wii U is so underestimated. I love that console, guys. But so many Wii U games looked so good. They did so well optimizing a lot of Wii U games.
The Wii U
Fantastic.
remake of Twilight Princess that we actually got had slowdowns when you would visit a waterfall or well, there's like a lot of poison in the air. If you go to like Zora's Domain or whatever, like where there's like the giant waterfall, it'll like chug along. Like Breath of the Wild when it first released and you went to Korok Forest.
Right, before they patched it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of really good looking Wii U games that I think people underestimate the how that console was able to handle things graphically. I'm not saying it was like top of the line, you know, high end PC graphics, but I still think it like the games that it did have, that they optimized those games to run really well and look pretty good. Maybe not as well as Switch, but of course that, you know, that was then, and Switch is more current technology. But that's just, again, that's me. This is the Daniel disagrees with Jesse show.
Okay.
That's what friends are for.
All
That's
right,
how we
yes.
have good conversation.
It's true.
So, was that everybody?
I don't think.
Did you choose Josh?
Josh.
gave us an answer.
Josh.
What is
Something
yours?
I mean, it again for me. It kind of goes back to the thing we talked about at the very beginning of the show. Like I'm all about seeing the just the nods to the fans in the Zelda titles. So like, I mean, like for me personally, I think it would be great if the Temple of Time took us back to an 8-bit Zelda and we had to do some missions there, and then we got to go to a 16-bit Zelda, right? And then so on and so forth. Like, I'm all about it. The other thing is, I'm ready to see a little more love for Zelda. Like, let's see her. Let's see what she's got. Let's see some more of her magic. Let's see what she's like. You know, Micah took Pauline and allowed you to play Donkey Kong with Pauline. You had to go rescue Mario. Like, let's see what Zelda's got. Let's see what she can do. You know.
I agree. Zelda's a powerful woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She showed that to us as Sheik. Show us more.
Well, she showed it to us as she held Ganon back for 100 years behind it.
And any of that.
That's true, but that's the thing. We know she did it. She can, but we don't get to see it.
Hanging out, making like the world's longest scarf while also using some hair. Why do you guys have me here?
Oh no!
All right,
But
Josh.
Yeah.
Wait, are we done? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Question,
Jesse's
what
so ready to
the
go.
heck out of this conversation?
Who's driving?
where can people find you if they're interested in checking out more of your stuff?
My latest website, onlyfans.com/N64Josh. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. N64Josh.com. I'm N64Josh everywhere. TikTok's where I've been putting the most content right now, just because I'm having fun being a goofball there. Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all the places, guys. Farmers only. Yeah. everything's N64Josh.
All right,
Did you
Daniel.
say farmers only?
He did. It took me a second. He really did.
Like, I'm basically already a farmer. I play Harvest Moon. I play Stardew Valley. 1v1v.
I'm just messing with you. But I really hope we get to hear Daniel sing. That's all chat wants.
Oh,
they've been asking for you to sing the entire.
Oh my goodness.
Have you been teasing them on your own streams?
Wrap your outro. We got this.
I'm not a singer whatsoever. Certainly not as good as Josh. If you guys really want to see me sing, you guys got to tune into my live streams on Twitch, because I very often do sing, but just like for like a minute of like just what random things or just singing what I'm doing.
That's what I was asking. Do you tease them on your own streams, and then when you appear on this channel, they're like, "Give it to us, Daniel! Like, stop teasing."
I guess
it's there.
I'm not a good singer. I've seen them. They clip it. Denny will go in and clip the song, and I'll go back and rewatch it, and I'll be like, "Oh God, am I really?"
Why am I like this?
It's just playing Donkey Kong 64 distracts you so much that your mind slips and you start singing without realizing.
It's because I start singing about how honky chunky is.
Just sing your plug. Be like, follow me on twitch.tv, Captain Bergeson, whatever. Like, just.
I need you. That was beautiful. You got.
Can you sing my voicemail?
Oh no, it's not good. Chirp like a bird. I think I could do that.
Like a bird. Sing to us like a bird.
But what kind of bird? Do you want like a?
That's good.
That was not so much of a chirp.
Is that like the bird that's with Gruntilda? Whatever her name is?
Gruntilda.
Gruntilda?
Maybe.
She makes like a noise like that. Or like there's a bird sound with her.
Oh yeah, Gruntilda makes weird noises.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you were copying.
That makes sense. But if you guys really actually do want to follow me on all the things, you can catch me occasionally singing on my Twitch streams, twitch.tv/CapBergerson. I'm also on my YouTube channel, Cap Bergerson, though there's not as much singing there. But more just random videos. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Also, Cap Bergerson is just CapBurgerson across all those platforms for consistency's sake. So just hook me up. But no, don't worry. There is singing on Twitch. Don't worry. Just it's not any particular songs that are written beforehand. It's just nonsense, really, which is the best kind. So people are disappointed because they super chatted, but I will sing for you guys, just not here. I promise. So,
I want the DK rap. You guys should have seen his first episode.
I did do the DK rap.
DK64.
I did sing the DK rap on my channel.
Totally got funky with that one.
And it was on April Fool's Day, and people were like, "Is this a joke? Is that you're playing this?" And I'm like, "No, I actually just love this game." So, so there you go. That's what I'm gonna lay it down here. I'm dead.
All right, Choops.
Nice knowing him. All right, well, I'm Chublima. You guys can find me at twitch.tv/Chublima with an extra A, because that's just how I am. Also on Twitter at Chublima, and Instagram. I've been posting there lately because boredom, but that's all I got. That's all I do. I mostly just play Nintendo games. Right now I'm emulating them all, so it's been terrible, but capture card soon.
Alright, I am Game Over Jesse. Everything is at Game Over Jesse or /Game Over Jesse, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, everything. You can join our Discord, where we all are, to chat with us and all of the other awesome people that stay and watch the podcast or watch the other Zelda theories or top 5 videos or interviews that we have with everyone. There is a Chewbacca.
That's Chairbacca.
Chairbacca.
Yes.
He's having a bad time. His eye is balding.
Oh, yeah. He's got the pink eye.
It's her pink hair tickling his eye. Like that's what caused it.
Yeah. And you just can't touch your face in these times. But this whole stream, I've just been like playing with my.
We all have been.
I'm in the comfort of my own room.
Yeah.
Fine.
So, yeah, do you have any final words as the guest, Josh?
Thank you guys so much for having me on. I really, and I think if all things work out, you guys may be hearing Jesse on my podcast possibly this week. So, so we'll see. We'll see. So that's the Nintendo Powercast, like I said. So.
Yeah, Nintendo Powercast. And where can they find that? iTunes?
iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. Yeah, all the places.
All right. So thank you all for watching and tuning in. It was nice to have the podcast kind of early this time. Usually we have it like almost at midnight.
Like way late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So thank you guys all for watching and tuning in. Give us some questions. That way we are better prepared for the mailbag next time.
Yes. So we did the rare thing and didn't have... We actually had answered all our questions. We didn't have a backlog of a dozen questions to work through, so which is weird. So good, but also unexpected. I should also actually mention quickly before we end this here, Jesse.
Yeah.
If you guys notice this beautiful shirt I'm wearing, the 𝐈𝐧𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐞𝐫 shirt. I've got this shirt. I've talked about it on my stream as well. This matching beautiful coffee mug. You guys can check that out. I'm pretty sure there's a link down below that Jesse's got here under all his videos. But
Also this one.
It's a nice one. It's a nice shirt, don't you think? Don't you think it's good?
It's good. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. So there's just my shameless plug for the day, everybody. I know some people already bought them because it's been up for a bit, but that's all I got to say about that. just admire it, and then if you think it's good, there's a link below. I'm selling out, guys. I'm a sellout.
Well, thank you, Daniel. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day. Please stay safe.
Bye.